Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Admiral Market Session Recap of 3rd February 2014. Today we are going to talk about Euro, Cable, Aussie, Euro, Yen, New Zealand dollar. It seems like we are very close to my first setup. To be honest, I'm already in Euro Japanese trade, but I also monitor New Zealand dollar, which we will be talk very soon. So very soon we can have a setup, and possibly maybe we miss the trade, but we will see if the target for our possible entry could be seen. So let me just tell you first about this disclaimer before we start. Online educational materials are developed by Admiral Markets AS Estonia for a global audience. Therefore, please take into consideration that the information in this session may not be suitable for everyone. To gather corresponding information on charting conditions and any other detail, please visit www.admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity. You can print screen and read this disclaimer. By proceeding further, you're agreeing without all the risk associated to Forex market. So we can continue. Admiral Markets UK Ltd takes no responsibility for the information accuracy. The analysis represents the personal opinion of the author. It's me, and in no way it represents the actual suggestion for the trade. These are not AM UK's opinions, and the website in the video is not the Co-UK website, but the globally used COM website. Forex is risky business, and it should be not taken as advice, and it is a personal opinion only. This webinar is for informational and educational purposes only. So let me be first very fast with this. Look at this, Euro Yen. Unfortunately, I thought that it might happen, but I already placed the stop on break even. This was where I got an entry. It's around 136.95 was my entry. Stops down are already on break even. So guys, Euro Yen is in heavy downtrend. We should sell into the rallies on each rally. We should try to sell into, because Euro Yen it's targeting this level 136.50 and possible 135. But if we miss the trade, possibly it may retrace and give us again another entry around 137. But that would be second chance entry. So I'm not sure how it will happen. If it retraces a little bit to the upside, then we will search for entries there. But just pay attention to 136.95. Okay. Also, New Zealand dollar. This should be in very good. This is very good confluence zone. So guys, 81.20. If it happens to come there, unfortunately, I also miss the trade, but I will look to sell it again from this point, somewhere around this. This is my confluence point. 0.8125. I'm always saying this is not an actual suggestion for the trade. You take these opinions as whatever you want to, but basically this is how I will do. If it happens that I get a second chance trade, I will. Well, this is maybe the third chance trade, because New Zealand dollar already went in here, and just 10 minutes prior our webinar, this level was hit and it dropped 20 points. So this was a very unfortunate that will happen sometimes. Very good setups, but you see now it's already happened. 0.8120. I should have put pending order there. And it was touched 10 minutes prior to our webinar. After the dollar news, we got that into that retracement. But unfortunately, I also missed the trade. What can I say? We will see if it happens. Maybe we can have a third chance trade, but we need to be very cautious with that. But still, it's the end of the day, so we can get into a nice short trade. So let's be clear first with this setup, so then we will make a quick recap of last session. So this is for New Zealand dollar, guys. I am This is these are my levels, so I will be looking for sell here 0.8125, 80, 30, 60 pip stop, and I want to see 0.8000. Okay, so this can be a very good trade, possibly. Unfortunately, I missed the trade, but you know, maybe if we get in with 10% of zero, let's say if our full risk is 100%, we can go with 1/10 or maybe well, half of a trade. I don't know, but this is now it's too low for me. I would like to see it here again. New Zealand dollar, possibly the best trade, maybe the trade of the week. I don't know. From the looks of it, it looks like it can go down. So look at, this was the first trade, first chances to trade there. You see it dropped for some 30-40 pips, and then this news were, because sometimes news will give us second or third chance for trade. So look at this now. Look at this here. This is confluence zone, and in this confluence zone we can really, it can be a very, very fruitful, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejection of this zone, and then this news propelled up the price, and you see again, because trend is bearish. Usually, you know that in Forex market, when trend is, let's say, bearish and news kick in, I was telling you many times that we can have another chance to trade if we already are not in the trade. So this could have been a nice sell trade from there. Okay. So, well, we will see what will happen, but I'm monitoring again. I'm monitoring this shorting zone, this selling opportunity somewhere around there. This is also POC2. You see, 2 strong confluence points, and we will see. Let's see what we got in last session recap. Euro dollar, I was looking to buy around 36.50 for 37.50. So euro dollar, this was the time of our webinar. Basically, as I said, I was looking to buy into 36.50. Well, what happened? Basically, the price was something around 36.60, and when the price went here, I was well, like I say, I went, well, I personally went with tight stop, so I was stopped out. But basically, possibly, if some of you had taken a trade around 36.50 here, so you see stop loss. If I put 30 pips stop loss, I would have been saved. That was my mistake, because I went, maybe I was going with 15-point stop. That was stupid of me, but you see the price went 33 points before it dropped down. So some traders called me and told me that they were very profitable with this trade on euro dollar. So guys, well done for all of you who put 30 pip, of course, stop loss. That is the optimal stop loss. I don't know, the 30 pip. Usually when we get into intraday trade, 30 pip is good. So basically, I can say this trade generally was a successful one. At 36.50, even with 25 pip stop, you would have been safe. And look at that, 33 points of possible profit, of course, to this trend line, and then it went down, sold heavily. So now, of course, we will be looking for short opportunities. Okay. What we had with GBP dollar, buy around 65.20, stops around 64.50, targeting 66.20. This was the trade of the week for all of you who went in. I even got some messages from no sound. Guys, can we do a sound check? Do you hear me? Just type yes if you can hear me. Yeah, yes. Thank you, guys. So if any one of you have sound problems, check your microphone and check your microphone and sound settings. So I got a message from a trader named Igor Lukic, and he told me that he got something around 200 pips out of this webinar. And I also got some few messages on Forex Factory and personal inbox for some 100 and more pips. So I think last session recap was perfect. So this was perfect trade. Buy around 65.20. I told you guys I was looking to buy. Even though I missed a trade in a week, I got a losing trade on GBP. But at the beginning of this week, we had a very nice trade. So basically, what we got in mind is to buy around 65.20 and then sell. First, we got into sell position because this was the time of our webinar. And after the webinar, 3-4 hours after, no, it's 12 hours after. Yes, it's, well, something around 8 o'clock also. We got into this sell trade with almost a no drawdown, 66.20. First, it was a sell trade. And look, now it dropped some 300-400 pips after that. But look at this, guys, perfect one. This was alternative. So how do I look for those setups? Whichever of these setups hits first, we get into that position. So if alternative scenario kicks in first, we go with alternative scenario. If first position trade get in, we can get in, of course, with that trade. So whichever of these setups comes first, I'm looking to get into. So if this was my first, of course, and main possible trade, if I miss it, I will look for alternatives. So in this example, always the same thing. In this example, look at this. Here it went up, and then alternative scenario kicked in and it went down. Even though later at 65.20, look at this. Even if you have taken swing from 65.20, where I said, again, 70 pips. So cable was the winner. Cable was awesome. Aussie sell around 87.70, stops here targeting 87. What was with Aussie? Aussie, it was, oh, I'm missing my red levels, some of my red levels here. But basically, the price, I didn't took the trade just because of that winning GBP. So, but let's see, it was targeting 87 and buy scalp 86.40, 86.40. Should have put my red level template here, but let's see. Oh, this is way. Let's see. Okay. So alternative scenario didn't kick in before. First was a sell trade around there. So this is momentum candle. We don't go into momentums, but yet again, if someone enter, this is so-so. So first it was 18 pip of a drawdown, then it was 10 pip. So basically I can say that this trade, well, it was not a very, very good one, because after it went 10, 15 pips in profit, probably if we didn't use a trailing stop, we wouldn't been stopped out, because Aussie was very, very nasty. You see how it went. It went much up, then it was M-pattern, and it was sold heavily. But basically this was, if we could enter there on breakout, pullback, continuation here, in this point we wouldn't been very successful. So this should have happened around there, not around here. But well, not every trade can be a winner. Euro yen, sell around this 40.075. So let's see where euro got in. Of course, I got into some scalp trades here, and it was very good trade for, I got some 20, 25 pips, but this was good for 40, maximum 47, 48 pips. So because this was the time of our webinar, you see this scenario kicked in. This scenario kicked in, and basically maximum it was like this, some 45 to 50 points of a profit on euro yen. Then what about Swissy? Sell position 89.95, 89.85. Where were we? Of course, Swissy. Usually when you get into double trade, euro double exposure it's called, euro dollar and Swissy, you will get two simultaneous trades, so you will probably be in a double profit or in a double loss. But because I projected a jump of euro dollar, in this point we had a sell-off. So in this point where I went to sell, we had a nice sell for some 30 pips, then another good sell for some 60 pips. So basically it was double chance trade. Look at this, stops were never hit. So if you sold here, you would have got 40 pips. If you sold here, you would got 15 pips. If you sold again, well, let's say these levels. So 30 pips and finally 60 pips from this trade, and stop was never hit. I got into some scalps of Swissy. It was very, very good. So basically 4 winners, 1 loser. Very good recap, especially for cable. So well done for all of you who got 200 and more pips. Let's see now. Let's see where we now a question, which was momentum candle. These are momentum candles. These candles which have strong body without almost any wick, and usually there can be found very close to support and very close to resistance. So basically all of Marubozu candles which don't have a big wicks, and all of the, look at this, this is also a momentum candle. This is momentum candle. This is, you see this pattern, this is, you know how this pattern is called. It's it's very, very bearish. Now, well, if it closed here, we would have said this is dark cloud. If it's a little bit bigger, we would say this is a bearish engulfing candle. But this is bearish railway pattern. So bearish railway pattern here. But momentum candle, momentum candle, momentum candle here. This is not momentum candle. This is momentum candle also. This is momentum candle. This is momentum candle. This is momentum candle, because you can see from the support. This is momentum candle, break through resistance. Now break to support. Now resistance, breakout, pullback, continuation. So that was very successful week for start of the week, but the rest of the week was a little bit whipsaw. I don't like trading on Fridays, and really I'm thinking about just not to trade on Fridays, because even when I'm right with my technical analysis on Friday, there is much of profit taking, and I just don't like that profit taking, because profit taking, even though we can be right for some 20-30 pips and then profit taking kicks in, if we don't use trail stop, we are usually stopped out because price reverses. And that happens not on every single Friday. But my advice is, don't trade on Fridays which mark the end of the month. So last Friday was the end of the month. And you could have seen a very, very, I can say, whipsaw action on higher time frames, on cable, on euro dollar, and much other minor crosses if you trade minor crosses. So Friday, generally, last Friday of the month, I just don't think I will trade, because a few times it happened that I was right with my position, but just because of that whipsaw of 50, 60 pips, I don't use 60 pips if I trade on 1 hour. If I trade on 4 hour, that is the other thing. But why would I trade 4 hour time frame if I trade on Friday, right? Because we usually want to close trades prior to the end of the week. So we want to see 1 hour trading, right? So I use 30, 35 pips maximum on 1 hour time frame, okay? So basically, Yes, I usually use the daily support resistance, but I prefer Camarilla levels and red levels, uh, and I trade it on 1 hour. Yes, I have my own proprietary method of trading and analyzing. For my students who are undergoing that class, they know how they do it. But usually, and not usually, 100% of the time, I use my Camarilla MACD method for determining entry points, support and resistance levels. I always watch for a confluence. I never work without a confluence. So this red level is very, very good, but I also want it to be in agreement with other indicators we choose, because this is mostly this is blank chart. But on Camarilla MACD I have a few additional indicators. Those are Camarilla and MACD. So when I post my analysis, I always take into account those confluence zones and of course the divergences, because I use divergences when I see it. And I can also suggest that you use divergences in your trading. It's very good. So look at this, Euro Yen. Again, it was rejected for some 136, 87, 88. It's being rejected of that level. So, well, my stop is on break even. We will see if I get stopped out on break even. I would look this position, as I said, on Euro Yen to sell. Okay, so let's see what I have in mind for next day. These setups are valid usually this day, next day, and sometimes, not always, sometimes a day after tomorrow, because we need always to check the calendar. If we have a strong calendar, guys, if we have a strong calendar, then, well, I make new analysis then. So tomorrow we will have a cash rate, RBIR statement. This, you need to be very worried about this. This can be a little bit nasty. Euro, not big news for euro, even for dollar, not big news. I expect another sell for euro dollar. Okay. Let's see. Wednesday, bank holiday, Chinese. It doesn't matter for us, but we have very strong news, of course. ADP, guys, and ADP, ISM manufacturing, and finally on Thursday we have minimum bid rate, ECB press conference, unemployment, trade balance. Oof, this will be very, very nasty. So Friday, of course, NFP and unemployment, but we will look. I hope we will get this set up soon. Of course, if we go with trend trades, we want to sell higher, buy lower. This is what I see on euro dollar. Euro is in downtrend now. We have a sell position. I will be looking for sell around 35.50 to 70, stops around 36, targeting 34.30 and 33.90. Well, we will see. If we get 35.50, 70, I will be in a trade. So I want to see euro a little bit higher, guys, from these levels. I'm not saying now, pay attention, I'm not saying that this will not drop from these levels. Why I think so? Look at this. This was the first trend line which was broken. Okay, this was broken. This is intraday trend line, so it's not very important. But look at this, guys. Look at this. Now it's starting to form another trend line. And do we have another top if we draw it like this? Yes. Something like this. Not a perfect one, but look at this. Double top. Because the price went up, then it shoot it, but rejected here. 36. I don't think this level will be broken. Look at this, guys. Do you see something on this chart? Isn't it logical for euro dollar to continue down? So this can be a little bit, I think this might happen, that euro can be sold even now 35.20. I'm not saying it won't happen, but if you try, let's see what Fibonacci says. Look at this, perfect rejection, 61.8. But you know, sometimes we have a deep retracement, and today is Monday. I'm not saying it won't drop, or it just, maybe the drop has already started, but it's the end of the day now. And I don't know what will happen till the rest of the day. There won't be much traders. There won't be much, how can I say, big money to lurk around. So I'm not sure that we can get a, I don't know, full swing in this point. So this can start to drop. This can already, the drop may already start from here, but I would like to see it there, somewhere around here, 35.50 to 35 at, well, on the spike, why not? But the first level which I would like to see is 35.50. Now tomorrow maybe this will start a drop from there and proceed lower to test those lower levels. But of course, if we get a spike, I don't know, some spike to the upside, of course I would be looking to sell it from here. But as you can see now, while we are having the webinar, we also have a nice trend line here. We have a double top here. We have basically a confluence zone of a trend line, 61.8 around 35.40, where possibly the drop has already started. So we will see. But just for safeguarding for all of you who are in the trade, put your stops to break even if you had entered somewhere around there. Or if you're short, or maybe you're long from these levels, it's also valid now. Put stop loss to break even. And if something happens that euro shoots up, I will be looking to sell somewhere around there. Of course, we need to manage our trade, trail it, so we will see. What about next pair? GBP dollar. We have a strong M pattern which is played out, and it's very, very well. What can I say? It's too much now. It went too to the downside, too much to the downside. Look at this M pattern here. This was the break. So basically, a couple of pips below this was a validation point here. Look at the drop. Now, what can I say about pound? This was, well, this webinar, these PPTs were done 1 to 2 hours prior to webinar, so I needed to make this sell around 64. So I hope that the pair can give us another sell opportunity here around 64. But look at this. This could have been a spinning top. Spinning top, well, went up some 25 pips, but this is not enough for another short, because this was too low for shorts. Too low for shorts. And what happened, basically, the price is still going to the downside. And now this can be, maybe this can be played out. We need to watch price around 62.90, 62.80 for a scalp trade. So these levels can be hit very soon for a possible scalp. The only thing I don't like is it's the end of the day now. So it isn't a new session. We usually want to trade 1 hour prior or first 3 hours of each session, because first 3 hours of each session are most profitable. But now is the end of the day. The markets are starting to close. Maybe we can have some profit taking around this level, which will give us a potential long trade around these levels. So monitor the price on lower time frames. Of course, I will be looking to sell if something happens with maybe some news will kick in and we can get these levels to sell again. Let me see, did I have a question? let me see. For ADX at this moment shows around 75 for GBP. Does it indicate a possible trend reversal? To be honest, GBP has already exceeded its ATR. It's exceeded its ATR. So, well, I'm not sure what I can say. It should jump, but you see the momentum now on even on lower time frames. It's going to the downside. So we still don't have that consolidation on lower time frames around those levels which I mentioned. So the only problem for this can potentially work out, but now the problem is it's the end of the day. So, you know, I won't get in a trade now, but surely it's a scalp trade, so these are scalping zones now, and it went too far from now. So I guess we could have now some profit taking. So you see well, a scalp trade. So we will see. Basically, it has a downward momentum, but I want to see consolidation around 69, 62, 90, 62, 80. So you see momentum is strong, but there is no big volatility. But as I said, this should have been scalp trade, so we will see. Aussie sell around 88, stops 20 pips, buy around 87. Why? We don't have clear situation on Aussie. It's a bit of ranging on higher time frames. Look at this. This is for me, this is nonsense for Aussie. Look at this. What is this? This is sideways price action. This is ranging price action. What can I say about ranging price action? I would look to sell somewhere around 88.00, somewhere around there, because I think it's being protected at the moment. And of course, if it happens to come there, I would look to a buy. I would go for a scalp swing, placing a trailing stop after some 10, 12 pips, because this is range. So this can shoot up a bit, but we will see. You see here, it looked like it might go up, but then it was rejected again to the downside. So, well, when we trade ranging price action, we want to sell into resistance, buy into very support. So I would look to sell around this level and buy around this level. Well, if we get a trade, okay. If we don't get a trade, we will skip it. Nothing bad with skipping the trade. Why? I cannot, this is not a trend. And we don't have, well, I have an explanation for this. It will be more clear today. So pay attention for this today. Tomorrow morning I may do Aussie analysis, and I will put it on, of course, Forex Factory, Spiders Den, and Admiral Markets blog. Okay? This is, the market is waiting for this. Cash rate, RBA rated statement. So market is waiting for that. We will see what happens. That is why we have this ranging price action. Market has been waiting for that, guys. Look at this. 8 pips now if you scalped this level. And I told you, if someone is in the trade, if someone is in the trade, guys, take this trade as a scalp, okay? While I was talking with you, price got to 69, 62.90 on cable. Look at this. This is the low, 62.89. And it's 7 pips now. So for all of you who are scalping, well, you see the scalp. This is the scalp. Anywhere from 5 to 15 points is considered a scalp trade. If you want to turn it into scalp swing, put your stop loss to break even plus 8 now. And you will end up with at least 8 points of profit. That's how I do money management from scalp to scalp swing and from scalp swing to intraday. I will probably have a webinar about that called trade transition. So scalp to scalp swing to intraday, intraday to intraweek. Okay, you see 11 pips of a profit now. While we are talking, it's 12, 13 pips of a profit. Now put your stop to break even plus 10 or 11. Break even plus 11 for all of you who are in the trade of GBP dollar. At least you will get up with nice scalp of end of the day trading of 11 pips. Okay? Okay, let's move to, you're safe now. Whatever you do, you're safe now because you are, if you got into the trade here, you would have had until now some 12 pips of profit. I'm just helping you to manage the trade if you are in. Okay, so this is, as I say again, not trading advice. I cannot literally say this is trading advice because I don't have the right to tell you. Okay, but that is why I say always, guys, this is my opinion, and I would be personally looking to these positions. Okay, this is how I would do the trade. And now about this trade management, this is how I would done it. So you see, if I had entered in a trade, I would be 11 pips now in a profit, and my stop would have been break even plus 18. Plus 11. So if it gets to 63.01, I would be stopped out for 11 pips of a profit because this is a scalp trade. Now, what about Aussie? Aussie, I told you, it's ranging, so wait for that range. Euro yen, downtrend, retracement on 4-hour time frame. Position sell around 137.50, 137.60, targeting this level. Why? Because this trade, for me, it's still going on. I'm like 30 pips in a profit now on live account because I entered a trade. It was missed. It was missed 10 minutes prior to our webinar. Unfortunately, this was the level. But if it shoots up, I would be looking to sell here. I would be looking to sell here. Strong confluence zone, strong level. I would be looking to sell here if it shoots up. For me, Euro Yen currently is selling to rallies. And New Zealand, I also told you about New Zealand. I'm watching this. 81.95, 81.30. It happened 2 times today. You see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times today. But I saw it 2 times. It was rejected very, very nicely. Very strong confluence here. 50, 20, it's not very, very strong confluence. Because confluence is very, very strong when it has like this. 80, 78 and 38 double confluence. But we also have strong number, 50 and 23.6. This is not strong number, 23.6. But in strong downtrends, it's so-so. It can be traded. But we have a strong number, 50. So basically it gives us triple confluence, double confluence. But I can say triple confluence just because of these. You can see it's basically 5 times top. 1 top, 2, 3, 4, 5 time top here. So it's a triple confluence here. And if you trade it here, it would be again triple confluence because of quadruple top, 1, 2, 3, 4 tops, and double confluence with major swing, last swing. Okay? Fibonacci says it much, really. Okay? So basically, now cable for my, if someone takes my advice, 11 pips of a profit while we are talking now. So we will see what will happen on the next. So if it breaks 60 to 89, it will probably go to 60 to 80. So maybe we can have another possible setup there for a scalp. Okay. So 11 pips of a profit. I helped you with trade management if some of you got in. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, some of these setups I expect to play out, so we will see. New Zealand dollar, as I said, these are levels to watch for, but 60 pips stop because it's 4-hour time frame and targeting this level. I am not sure if we will have another trade because of this 5-time top end, but I'm monitoring these levels. If something happens and price shoots up, well, I won't do anything until 81.56. Next confluence zone, okay? And you see here again, sorry for this. So trend line there, and also we have sort of trend, so intersect of two trend lines, 61.8, that was just after the news, and now we will see what the price will do. It looks like it's trapped in a triangle. This looks like a triangle now, but I expect it to go down really to test 80.00. So this can be again maybe prove fruitful for the price. We will see, okay? So let's make a quick screenshot of all of this. So mark it on your screen and use it with conjunction of your trading methods and trading systems so I can help you. Ante, you wrote 136.76. What does it mean? It's a price for euro yen. I don't know what you got in mind with 136.76. Yeah, it's shooting up. It's shooting up now. So we will see. Why it's shooting up? Because it's 15 minutes till 7 our time. So again, some profit taking is kicking in. So some pairs are just behaving like that. So we shouldn't be afraid of profit taking now. It's not Friday. Friday is dangerous. So again, euro dollar, my plan for euro dollar. Also cable. This has happened, guys. For some of you, I can see that few members joined up a little bit late. So this was a trade, possible trade opportunity while I was talking, and it was 11 pips of a profit during this webinar, scalp trade. It already happened. So now I will monitor this price. If it breaks this, I will monitor this. Aussie, ranging market, and be very careful because there will be strong news today. Our RBI raised annual Reserve Bank of Australia and cash rate announcement. I don't suggest trading it now. Just pay attention to those levels. But if you see big momentum candles, don't trade it. Because that will be effectively news trading. I will possibly come with new with you Aussie analysis early in the morning tomorrow. Euro yen is in downtrend, retracement on 4 hours, sell position on euro yen. I'm still in a trade of 136.95. We will see what happens. Maybe I will be stopped on break even, but if it shoots up, I will be looking again to sell it from this. these levels. And what do we have? New Zealand dollar, of course. New Zealand dollar. This price is very close. If we had our webinar 10 minutes earlier, this could have been 30 pips in a profit. Look at this. All day long rejection from these levels. And possibly it might get somewhere around there, and proceeds down. By my analysis, I don't say I'm right, but by my analysis, this should hit this level. Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, you can ask. If no, we can conclude the webinar, and tomorrow I will be posting new analysis again, of course, the Spiders Den, also on Admiral Markets blog. Admiral Markets blog, same as always, blog. And of course, sign up for future webinars. I'm very glad, again, I need to say, for all of you who got 200 and more pips from last webinar, because I'm very glad that you really made so much money. So 200 pips, even if you go with minimum, it's very, very nice. So I'm very glad, really. So live trading lab with Chris. Then we will have introduction to VSA part 2. I will show you VSA setups and how to trade with volume spread analysis. Then we will talk about Murray Mat, which I personally brought to Forex Factory a couple of years ago on euro-dollar trade. No one know about Murray Mat, and I was explaining how to do Murray Mat, but on euro-dollar trade, not on my trade. It was some 4 or 5 years ago. And let me see what we will have soon. We will have, again, of course, weekly recap. Sign for these weekly recaps. So for you who was watching webinar, we got into a nice cable trade, scalp trade for 11 pips while the webinar was okay. Let me see. Sorry, another webinar, price action trading. Also, this will be important because I will present advanced strategy for price action. So sign in for price action trading part 2. And of course, free pips with session recaps. So 11 pips on that last trade which happened today while we were talking. For some of you who taken this, it was 11 pips while we were having the webinar. So again, guys, I am glad when you make pips. Thank you very much for joining. Tomorrow I will be posting possibly new Aussie analysis because it's ranging. We will see what will happen. But of course, pay attention to those levels, 88 and 87. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish you very pleasant evening and talk to you very, very soon. Cheers.